There's no gunshots on the west side or south side. Pretty much city of Chicago, period. You gotta go to unincorporated areas just to get a gun. So how do they get so many of them in our neighborhoods? And what is it that we're doing with them? There's a plan. There's a plan to make sure that you all never see another President Barack Obama. Believe that. There is a plan to make sure that you all become a part of the 47% of African American males in the Chicagoland area that are dropping out of high school. 47%, that's half of a generation dropping out. Not flunking, not struggling to make it, but determining not to go. So like the brother Cherry said, with no structure, with no systematic organization in your life, you get drugs brought in to fill that gap. What are you going to do if you're not in school at your age? There's nothing out here in the world set for you to do. There's nothing out here for you between the hours of 8 and 3 o'clock at your age. There's nothing to do. You live in a country that's divided up by systems. And the first one y'all come in contact with is called the educational system. They build prisons based upon your third grade test scores. Fact. They know where you're going after third grade. And they're planning to make money off of those prisons based upon your inability to listen to mother and father, apply the right effort. They're planning your future for you. So if you can't make it through the educational system, you're not going to flow into the job system. We're going to flow you right into the prison system. You have to understand you live in a country that is based on structure, and it's capitalist. A capitalist society has no heart. We don't care what you do, because we're going to make money off of you one way or the other. Either you're going to pay taxes, or we're going to take and put you in the prison system and make you work for close to nothing. And taxpayers going to pay your way while you're there. So that's why you have drugs in the community. I wish I could go a little bit deeper because it's deeper than that. Don't get it twisted. We don't have to succumb to these things. And in this day and age, with the amount of information and knowledge that's out here, we should not be going backwards. We should be going forwards. But the war is on for you all's minds. Don't get it twisted. You think Lil Wayne and these folks are entertainment for you all back in our day? We didn't even have hip-hop in Chicago. Y'all better pay attention to what you're listening to and what you're internalizing and what they're telling you to say. They're a part of the system that is meant to destroy your young minds and get you in the prison system and away from the education system, i.e. job system. All right? So that you all can bring the young ladies and have families and keep the race going and keep the culture going. If the majority of our black men are locked up, what have our sisters got left? Who they gonna marry? Who's gonna raise the children? You're talking about the killing of race of people slowly. And watch this. Mr. Lee said it best. This brother ran his resume to you. Now he's changed his life. I'm a firm believer as a parole agent. I don't convict you. I don't judge you. I make sure that you get back into society and I try to keep you out of the prison system by any means necessary under the law. That's my job and that's why I do it. All right? So you've done your time. This brother said he's given half of his life because of his crimes to the system. Now tell me, after you've been judged and you've done your time, you should be good, right? Right? If you get on punishment at home and mama say no TV for tonight, you should not be able to watch TV for the rest of your life. Right? That wouldn't be fair. If you get a bad grade and mama says this is the punishment, you know the stipulations of the punishment, you know when the punishment's gonna start, you know when the punishment's gonna end. Right? Tell me why a brother goes to prison and does his time, and for the rest of his life he's excluded from getting a job. What do you expect me to do? If I give you my time for my crime and I come out, I should be free of that. Do you understand the laws are written in the state of Illinois that if you're convicted of a drug offense, not a murder, not a sex offense, a drug offense, you can't get no money for college? Do you realize that 75% of my caseload is nonviolent drug offenders and they all look like y'all? Is that by design? I can murder somebody and still get money to go to college when I get out. But if I get caught with a felony possession, the state of Illinois you were in high school at that age to fill out for college and try to get some money, you'll see it. Have you ever been convicted of a drug offense? Not a felony, a drug offense. They're specific with their target. And what do we continue to do? So there's a reason why. That's the reason why we have drugs in our community. That's the reason why we have gun violence in our community. And until we wake up and say enough is enough, we're not going to play the game that's fixed, we will continue to destroy ourselves. We will continue to go down that road because they're going to make their money. It just don't have to be y'all. I'm going to get paid. I've got job security. It just don't have to be y'all. Y'all can make the right decisions given the information that you're getting today to avoid those pitfalls. Read your history. Know about your people. Know the struggles that have come from before you so that you don't repeat the same mistakes that have already been taken care of. There's really no excuse to that. With all of the technology and iPhones and all the stuff we have, for us to be ignorant as a people about our history. About all of the people who died and were beaten and eaten by dogs so that y'all can even sit here today. It's an affront to us as a people when we don't educate ourselves. All right? So learn the basics. Drugs are in your community to kill you, to take you out of the mainstream of life and to make you somebody else's slave. That's why you have drugs. Guns are given to you at a young age so that you'll kill each other. All right? 43 million black people in America. We make up more than half of the United States prison population. Come on, y'all. Y'all got to educate yourselves and understand the future that you're going into. And if you make the wrong decision, it's door A, door B, or the grave. Door A is prosperity and a life of halfway decency, full of struggles and problems all its own. Right? And door B is prison. That's it. And once you get that felony conviction, you've just made your life that much harder. You've given them legal grounds to discriminate against you. We're already black men. We already got to deal with being twice as good. We already got to deal with all of the institutionalized legal racism that this country was founded on. My mama told me, son, don't make it harder on yourself by giving them a reason to tell you no. Don't ever give nobody a reason to tell you no. You pick that felony up, you've just given them a reason to deny you from application, from job. You've just given them a reason to deny you credit. You've just given them a reason to deny you where you can live. All of these things come into play in life. Watch this. The backwards hypocrisy of it is you've done your time though. That stuff shouldn't even matter anymore. That's my past. Not in this country. God forgives. Man don't. And we're going to hold you to that. So when you think that you're going to take that package over there for your man and them, or you're going to hold that pistol and you don't know how many bodies he's got on it, think about your whole future. And that one decision could change. And y'all ain't even lived long enough to be able to pee straight. Excuse my French, it's just a fact. Y'all are too young to experience and know some things. But you can definitely set your life on a course for destruction at your age. And make it that much harder to achieve anything. I'm not trying to preach. But that's why you got drugs, bro. That's why you got guns in a nutshell. Because it's set in our communities to destroy us. And until we realize that we're not going to be destroyed, that we're going to pick up the garbage on our street and not live like animals just because we ain't got no money. When it's been at war, and to do anything but take it from each other that ain't got nothing. I was talking to the brother right here, I was like, this is what we do. We blame the white man for our position, and then we go steal from each other. I can understand if we was robbing the hood, rob from the rich and bring it back to the hood. No, that ain't what we do. We victimize each other and blame it on the white man. Well, if it's the white man's fault, go get him. He got more money than I do. I live in K-Town. What you want to rob from me for? Your problem is the white man, go deal with the white man. But why are you stealing and robbing and killing each other and then blaming it on society? Go deal with society. But we don't do that. We marg out, we punk out, and then we call ourselves hard. We call ourselves bangers. We call ourselves gangsters. We ain't doing nothing but killing each other. And the rest of the world, not just Chicago, not just the United States, the rest of the world looks at us as a people and says, what's wrong with them? What's wrong with that picture? If we was rising up like they were in the 60s to fight oppression and to fight white people, it would make some sense. But we rising up on each other. We killing each other's babies. We locking each other up and stealing from one another. We got to understand what's going on. Y'all got to educate yourselves. Get your scholastic academic education, but get some education and knowledge of yourselves. My people perish for lack of knowledge. My people perish for lack of knowledge. Y'all got to understand what's going on in the world that you're growing up into. Is your world coming up? What role are you going to play in? Where are you going to be? Where are you going to sit? Don't set yourself up to fail before you've even started, gentlemen.
Hey, young man, real quick, too. Another thing is, like Mr. Alexander said, quick, get it off. Listen, real quick. Another answer to that question. Guns, drugs, those things are not necessarily bad innately. It's in the hands of people that makes those things bad. Guns were created in this country originally because it was a new frontier. Okay? It was animals, this country had to be built up. Then eventually came wars where people sold as a device to protect yourself and your family. And then it's also a recreational device. Okay? You go into other communities, there are kids just your age, your size, you see them, go look online. They belong to groups. They go hunting. Okay? It's recreational game hunting. Okay, so don't think that the devices necessarily are bad within themselves. They become bad because of the way that we use them. Drugs are used for the healing of people, but any drug with abuse can be a bad thing. I don't have to have no kush, no loud, none of that, no crack, no heroin. I can take Mr. Alexander, if he got some kind of pills for a medical condition, and I just start popping them up here, then, it's just as bad as any of those other things, okay? So, it's about how we take things and twist them out of perspective, all right?
Hypothetically speaking, I'm a 13, 14-year-old boy, and my 13, 14 years of living, I've been dealing with all of emotionally, spiritually, and social depression. And I have this one person, for lack of a better word, that is my father, or dare I say my daddy, the one I tell everything to, the one that knows me more than I know myself. What advice do you give to somebody that has that significant other in their life, but that significant other takes a negative twist, like it turns for the bad?
I know when my son looked past my dinner table for a role model, he might be in good trouble. But what I've done, I've learned that something my son won't tell me. So what I've done is expose my son to other men that been in his life and he called them his uncles. So when he has situations that he feel he don't want to come to me, he can go to one of them. Or when I pick up something that he's struggling with and he ain't talking about it, I can contact that network of men and they take initiative to get with it. I would say, get you a network. Don't rely on just on one person. I still today have men I can go and talk. I got the greatest support a brother might have. I still have my father. My father will tell me how he still can cope with me going in and out of jail, get me prepared to deal with my son going in and out of jail. But I just don't step with my father. There's other men. I got a network of men all over 70 that's telling me how they dealt with they have fallen out. I ain't falling out. How they dealt with wearing glasses, and I got to wear glasses. How they deal with crossing the line with sickness, up and crossing the line and become sick. So as we live, new issues come up in our lives. You just got to have a network of other men that's been through what you're going through. But one thing I would advise you, say you what, 14, 15? I'm going to say you got a big with me. The bad thing is to get somebody 3 or 4 years older than you that's doing something you want to do. That's the best. And all you little 13, 15 year olds, find somebody 16 to 17 that's doing okay in life and use them as a support there. We ain't got to always be a man. Because some guys 3 or 4 years older are so close to what you're experiencing right now. somebody that's 3, 4 years old to and say, man, how did you get out of high school without getting killed, da. They can tell you better than I can, because today high school is different from the high school I went to. I would say, get you a network of men in your life. Don't just rely on one. Get you a network of men. That's what I would say.
One more thing. Let me just add one little thing to it. Hey, and don't be afraid to go to some of these older women. Your aunties, your grandmothers, you have some women that know the role that we men play because they have been doing it so long. Some women have took the role of being a man on because the man wasn't there. So don't be afraid to go to a woman. You know what I'm saying? If you have some strong black women, man, that's going to tell you something better than I would tell you. You know what I'm saying? So just remember that too. It's not just the men. You know, you have, like, if you had a grandmother, man, you know what kind of stuff grandmama done been through? Grandmama can tell you some stuff that make your ears curl back. You just sit there all night on her lap listening to her. So don't be afraid to go to a woman, man. So you have some strong black women out there.
The question, gentlemen and young ladies, is why do people kill and rob? And I just dealt with this a minute ago. People kill and rob to have things. A lot of times there's a reason or a motivation behind everything that we do. People kill and rob. They rob other people to take what they have, right? So if I want your gym shoes and I don't have the money or the resources to go get them, some of us have not been trained to believe that it's okay to take yours. Okay? People kill for so many different reasons. Countries kill, governments kill, but usually it has something to do with money. Usually it has something to do with money. But what you all are dealing with, young man, I'm asking your question, what you all are dealing with mostly is people killing for nonsense. And when I say that is because people your age, for some reason, have begun to believe that y'all should have $200 pairs of gym shoes. That y'all should be driving right out of high school with an education or not, certain types of cars and having certain types of economical mindsets. So you're killing and selling drugs and robbing from one another to get these things that society has told you you're supposed to have. 9 times out of 10, there wasn't a father in your life to show you or be the example that that's not the way the world goes. Alright? So basically it comes down to foolishness, lack of knowledge, and lack of education. People are killing and robbing from each other because they have not been trained or taught the proper way to go about getting things. And we've begun to think it's acceptable in our society and in our culture to do those types of things. To go sell drugs rather than get a job and an education. To take from someone else rather than work hard yourself so that you have it and it's yours. This is what happens when you take the men out of the system and they're going there to train a young man to become a man. Therefore, the television and the streets give you your morals and your values, and they train and teach and rap to you all that it's okay to kill another nigga, it's okay to go get with another bee or whatever and disrespect your women, it's okay to sell poison in your neighborhoods as a means to come up. That's where you get that information from. Unfortunately, some of you have that close to home and personal, and you see that example in your homes too. But that's basically the cycle of why it happens. People kill and rob to have things that they're not willing to work for, that they're not willing to go out and do the due diligence to bargain for or ask someone for. Did that answer your question, little man? I was going to ask you what I said, but go ahead.
One of the things that was so long time is that I'm needing not going to listen to what we're saying and kind of just be cool because we really still need to focus because I promise you what you have up here, I didn't have that coming up. And that's why I think a lot of that is it. One of the things that we have to realize so all the time, we get this noise sense of right and wrong. One of the things we are talking about, I always think about the about raising that's a talking head. That is a talking head. Just because you're a male, not mean you're a man. That is a talking head. We got a lot of 35-year-old males, a lot of 40-year-old males, and so on. It is a talking head. How do you talk to a man? The one who can talk to a man, you have to see it as a man. It's so important to understand what we're saying here. I look around all the time out there and see who's really listening, who's really paying attention. That's why I gave you the 3 jewels. The 10 here, both the other. Anybody? That's in the 10 here, both the other 2. That's you. You right here.
That mic is bad, isn't it? Oh, it's horrible.
You won't be up. It's a faithful prayer. This is why it's important. I get over every time I come out and do something. Because if you don't leave here with nothing else, I want you to leave here with the intent here. That means you're listening with an instructor's tongue. That means you're careful with what you say out loud in a faithful prayer. So you can take what we give you to the heart. This ain't for me.
Thank you. That was driving me crazy. There you go.
It's a scale like this, and our chances of getting into heaven are not even existent. So we have to come out and start to provide some of this information to give some type of guidance to try to balance those scales so that we can probably get in. And that's why I do this. I got to balance those scales. That means I'm old. I've done enough negativity that I'm old. And one last thing I want to say for young brothers like you, between the ages of 16 and 26 is when you start, you don't even know nothing before you get that old. I guarantee you. Our brain don't even develop until we get about 26, 27. And then we start moving into manhood, start thinking about future. Oftentimes, within that amount, in that women, that 10-year women, we make bad mistakes, and that talks about those felonies and stuff like that, where we cannot think about it. We can't get good jobs, we can't get governmental jobs. Every time you look at it, follows you, get it. So you got to look at that 10 years, that window, for you to be successful. Staying out of jail, brother talking about that. It's very important. Staying out of gangs and all those different things. The whole point we're making is you got to take this information and kids and do something. You got to listen. You got to hear something. I guarantee you it's not a waste of my time. Don't make it a waste of yours.
No, I can actually say that the reason for a lot of deaths is for drug. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. We say
and I'm this real quick. This is when we talk about substance. Be it weed, I do these debates with young brothers and sisters all the time. For some reason, they have been confused into thinking that marijuana is not a drug. So they get confused. And the reality of it is, when you start talking about chemical substance, it's a mind and food altering chemical. Something that changes your mind. The thing about marijuana, one, it changes how you think. I don't care what you say. It changes how you think. You become addicted to it extremely quick. Very, very quickly you become addicted to marijuana. All you gotta do is think about this. When you first started smoking, for those who smoke, it don't apply, let it fly. For those who smoke, you can take a couple hits and you be fine. Every time you smoke, it requires that much more. Then it went from just smoking the joint, and having to feel. And the thing about it is, it comes from just regular, you know, they call that resin. They go to resin, then they go to kush, then they go to lime. They always look at something that's going to mess your mind up that much more because you don't think the same. So the thing about substance is, yes, you do not think the same when under the influence. So will it affect you? Yes, it will. Your ability? Yes, it will. Most people who have done crack or cocaine started out smoking weed and drinking. Those are what we call gateway stepping stones. So even though you might look at it as just being that today, there'll be something else tomorrow. And you make bad decisions under the influence. Most individuals who commit crimes get high fast going. Also, marijuana, alcohol, and other drugs give you courage that's not there. You'll be more courage. You have more false courage. So does it affect you? Absolutely. You listen, you ask questions. Absolutely affects you. If you think that it don't, you just watch it get resolved. And it always starts out with what we've been so well